Hi guys, welcome to 180 Days of Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I am here today to get you started on Unit 1, Short A. So please take a second and make sure you have all your materials. You should have a copy of this green book open to page 11. You're also going to need an assortment of colorful writing tools. Crayons, colored pencils, highlighters, markers, whatever you can find will work just fine. You're going to see me marking up the list of words on this board using my colorful whiteboard markers. Whatever I do on this board, you should be doing on your page. Okay? Remember, if I move too fast, you can always pause the video and come back to it. All right, so let's get started by reading all of the words. I'm going to say the word and I want you to repeat after me. And as you're saying it, I want you to listen for the short A sound, that ah sound or sound hiding somewhere in the word. So here we go. Abdomen, acrobat, agony, altitude, astronaut, attitude, Canada, canopy, collaborate, congratulate, contaminate, disaster, evaporate, exaggerate, gratitude, latitude, procrastinate, sacrifice, spatula, and stamina. Okay, so every single one of those words has a short A sound inside it somewhere. So when we get to these big words, they can seem a little overwhelming. So one thing that makes it easier is to break these words into chunks. We call those chunks syllables. So I want you to choose a color. I'm going to use pink. You use whatever color you want. And we're going to take the word abdomen and break it into 3 syllables. Let's clap them out. Abdomen. Let's slice our word after the B and after the O. Abdomen. Okay? Acrobat. We can slice it after the C and after the O. Acrobat. Agony after the G and after the O. Notice we have 3 syllable words here. Altitude after the L and after the I. Astronaut after the S and after the O. Attitude between the T's and after the I. Canada after the N and after the A. Canopy after the N and after the O. Collaborate after the L, after the B, collab or 8 after the R. 4 syllable word. Congratulate. Congratulate. Another 4 syllable word. After the N, after the T, after the U. Congratulate. Contaminate. After the N, after the M. Contaminate. Disaster. After the S, after the S. There we go. Evaporate. After the E, after the P, after the R. Exaggerate. After the X, between the G's, after the R. Gratitude. After the T, after the I. Latitude. After the T, after the I. Procrastinate. Procrastinate. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Spatula. after the T and after the U. Stamina after the M and after the N. Okay? Over here in my key, remember, you use a key to unlock a door. You're putting a key on your paper here to help you unlock this code, right? We're trying to remember what all these different colors meant. So you can write your key anywhere you can find space on your paper. Or you could put a sticky note here and jot it as well. Whatever works for you. You just want to remember that all those vertical lines that you drew represent syllable breaks. Okay? Now, the nice thing about breaking a word into pieces is it makes it less overwhelming, right? I can spell ab-do-men. Ac-ro-bat. Easy peasy. You might recall in your earlier grades, you learned about the difference between a stressed and an unstressed syllable. So anytime a word has two syllables or more, some of those syllables are going to be said a little bit louder and a little bit stronger. Those are going to be your stressed syllables. What I want you to do is choose another color, and in the word abdomen, I want you to notice that the ab syllable is stressed. We say it a little bit louder, right? I don't call this my abdomen. I don't call it my abdomen. I call it my abdomen. So my first syllable is stressed. Acrobat, first syllable. Agony, first syllable. Altitude, first syllable. Astronaut, first syllable. So far, all of our words start with a stressed syllable. Same thing with attitude and Canada and canopy. But notice what happens on number 9. Collaborate. Now our second syllable is stressed. Congratulate. Second syllable stressed. Contaminate. Disaster. Evaporate. Exaggerate. Gratitude, back to the first syllable. Latitude, first syllable. Procrastinate, second syllable. Sacrifice, spatula, stamina. Okay? Everywhere I placed a green check mark, that is the stressed syllable. That is the syllable that we say a little bit louder. Okay? Now the nice thing about stressed syllables is they're easy to spell, because if you have an A in there, it's going to say right? Abdomen, acrobat, agony, altitude. Look at those chunks. Those are all easy to spell, because in every one of those syllables, whether it's the first syllable or the second one, you know that that A is going to make a short A sound. That is the easy part of your word. Where you might get tricked a little bit are in those unstressed syllables, because those are the lazy syllables, right? Our tongue gets a little bit lazy, and instead of pronouncing the vowels the way we think they should be pronounced, everything kind of turns into an We call that the schwa sound. And what makes the schwa sound so tricky is it can be represented by many different vowels. So in abdomen, there's a schwa and there's a schwa. Abdomen. Acrobat. There's another schwa. Agony. There's another schwa. Altitude. There's another schwa. Astronaut. Attitude. Canada. We've got 2 schwas in there. Canopy. Collaborate. Congratulate. Do you see how we're using all different vowels to make that sound? Contaminate. Disaster. That one doesn't actually have any. Evaporate doesn't have any. Exaggerate doesn't have any. Gratitude. latitude, procrastinate, sacrifice, spatula, stamina. Everywhere I circled in blue, we have an unstressed syllable, which means we have a lazy schwa sound, okay? And keep in mind that schwa can be represented by an A, an O, an I, sometimes E, sometimes U. So this is the part of your spelling that you're really going to need to focus on this week. So when you're training yourself to spell abdomen, you know it's pronounced abdomen, but when you're spelling it, I want you to think abdomen, acrobat, agony, okay? Altitude or altitude. I don't care if you use the long vowel or the short vowel sound, but pick one of them and really emphasize it in your brain to help you with this spelling, okay? Before I let you go, let's take a couple minutes, make sure we know what all of our words mean. So your abdomen, that would be your stomach area, right? You might go to the doctor if you have a pain in your abdomen. An acrobat, kind of like a gymnast, somebody that does cool flips. Agony, extreme pain, right? Sometimes when you have a toothache, you are in agony. Altitude would be the height of a place, right? So you go out to the Rocky Mountains, great places to explore because of their high altitude. Astronaut, I bet you know. Attitude, that's how you feel about things, right? You have a positive attitude. Canada is a country to our north. A canopy is a covering, right? So if you're having a picnic and you're worried it's going to rain or the sun's going to be too bright, you might set up your picnic under a canopy. When you collaborate, you work together, right? Sometimes your teachers ask you to collaborate with other kids. Congratulate, right? You tell someone, hey, you did a great job. I'm proud of you. I congratulate you. When you contaminate something, you make it dirty, right? If we have a pond or a reservoir where our fresh drinking water comes from, people aren't allowed to swim or dump trash in there because we don't want them to contaminate the water. We want to keep it clean. A disaster, big problem. Evaporate, that's when water disappears into the clouds. Exaggerate, right? When you say, oh, I ate 10 pizzas last night, you're exaggerating. Gratitude is thanks, right? You might show your gratitude with a nice card. Latitude, those, if you look at a world map, you'll notice there are lines going across it. Those are lines of latitude. Procrastinate means to put off. So if you don't want to do your homework right now, you might procrastinate. Sacrifice, that's when you give up something for someone else, right? You might sacrifice your video game time to help your little brother with his homework, right? Or you might sacrifice something of yours for someone else. A spatula, that's something we use in the kitchen, like when we're flipping pancakes, we would use a spatula. And then lastly, stamina, that is strength. So if you want to run a mile, you're going to need some stamina. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.